acknowledge my panelist, co-panelist on the share. First of all, a very good afternoon to all of you. It is indeed pleasure for me as an organizer to share some of our understanding on a very important issue which my colleague from Spain has just talked about it, taking the example of tree. I wish we had more trees, probably the issue would not have come what we are all. I'll be speaking of our understanding on how we are promoting greening TVET for sustainability. I will be making a very short presentation, basically focusing on what is the background for every one of us to understand, what are the current realities in which we are going through, why it is so significant sustainable development, how PSSCIVE is advocating greening TVET, and what are the major interventions and approaches we have advocated, and a small case study of our institution. Though we are in an early stage of greening, but I think it will be interesting for the audience to know how educational institution like us we are doing about it. I think there is no second school of thought on one very important. You will all agree with me, we only have one Mother Earth and we co-share that. It doesn't matter which part of the world we belong, but we share the one Earth. And this is very, very important for all of us. We have seen in the last decade, whether it is a developing country or a developed country, everybody has only one priority: economic growth, economic prosperity of the people. But it is at the cost of the environment. And I am finding it now, majority of the countries in the world at a crossroad, whether to follow the economic track of growth development or to compromise on the environment. And this is one of the challenge. And that's why you will see around us, it is not a surprise for everyone that there is growing global, rise in the global temperature. I'm tracking from 2009 till 2019, and every year we are finding there is a growing increase in the sea level. And if the rate at which this increase in the sea level is happening, we should not be surprised that Maldives will not be seen on the earth. It will be already under the earth, under the sea. This is very important. It is not the fault of the Maldives altogether. It's a very small, beautiful country. But all this impact is seen by some part of the world. Another important thing is population explosion. India is going to be the second largest country today in the population, and very soon will be the first largest country in the world which is having the highest number of population. And another thing is there is a growing use of exploitation of natural resources, unprecedented in the history of humankind. There are a number of data, a number of statistics can validate this fact that we are go on increasing the exploitations and all that. And that's why every year we keep a new record. 2009, 2010, 2019 is always declared as the hottest year in the world. I'm not surprised if 2020 also follow the same track of having the hottest year in this one. When we see statistically, different regions in the world are also contributing to this carbon emission. And naturally, US, China, particularly in our region, are the major contributor to this carbon dioxide emission per region, followed by Europe is also equally catching up and all that one. Now, when we see all this contribution of different region, the impact is felt by some other part of the world. And as you can see here, this is the entire Asia-Pacific region. This entire Asia-Pacific region, and you can see the list of the countries. Bangladesh is at a very extreme category of getting impacted because of this environmental change, climate change. India is second, very important, in a very extreme zone, who is going to face the extremity because of this change in the climate. So entire Asia-Pacific region is going to witness a sea change particularly. And as a result of this, you all know that even in desert we have snowfall now. There is a growing sudden climate change is happening, sudden hot waves are happening, There are still, cold is faced by many other part of the world, which is otherwise a very hot region. So the climate change is also impacting the seasons also. Now the question, having said this, then what does it all mean to us? I think we have to really look at what is sustainable development. We have been talking about it. We have Education for Sustainable Development Agenda 2015, and we have done a tremendous progress promoting at least advocacy for education for sustainable development. But the question is that the crisis of unsustainability cannot be solved the kind of education that helped to create the problem. Because the education promoted only the economic track, economic growth. GDP is very important to us, not the environment and all that. So we have to really think what can be the new ways in which the education should be given to the new age people so that they understand the significance of environment and how we can secure the climate change, I mean the changes happening in the rise in the temperature and all that. Because we have to ensure that we have the sustainable future. We are aware that there are 3 pillars. United Nations in 2006 categorically mentioned about environmental dimension, social dimension and economic dimension. If you see in the last few years of time, rather a decade of time, our entire focus has only focused on 2 pillars, that is the social dimension and the economic dimension. We have knowingly or unknowingly ignored the environmental dimension, which is very, very important and all that one. Another important thing is that why we are not able to achieve the sustainable development in spite of having everything. And I find that there is the first important thing is policies. Fortunately, in the recent past, there has been a considerable progress, not only in India, across the world, putting policies in place. But having policies is not going to resolve the issue of sustainable development. What is needed is how we govern these policies. So governance of policy is very, very important if you really want to address the challenge of sustainable development. But I think much more important is attitude, how we look at this. So attitudes are equally important. If we cannot do this, we are not able to accomplish the sustainable development issues and all that. Having said all these things, I think the issue is that what we can do. So to examine this, we propose that, what we can do at an institutional level, what we can do at a national level, and what we can do at an international level. We felt that as an institution, PSSCIVE, Central Institute of Vocational Education, is one of the unique institutions in the country. We thought, why not we can champion for this particular cause by taking some initiatives at institutional level. Now, in order to do so, we identified 5 major key dimensions. And I think you already know that the architect we have used for promoting greening is nothing but the architecture is sitting on the sharing the dais, and it is none other than Dr. Shamal Muzumdar. Can we have a round of applause for Shamal Muzumdar? Just to acknowledge it is his architecture, that's how we are working on promoting greening. There are 5 major dimensions. One is green campus, green technology, green community, green research, and green culture. Taking the advocacy for greening on this one, we are trying to adopt the guidelines which has been prepared by UNESCO UNEVOC. So it's a practical guide for technical and vocational education and institution. Through this platform, I would like to reach out to all those educational institutions. Kindly visit this website, UNESCO UNEVOC, download this guide, and it is a very practical guide to educate every one of us, whether you are a teacher, you are a scholar, whether you are an administrator, how you can inculcate this greening technical and vocational education into your practices and all that. So that is what has been our practice, what we have been doing. Now the question is why technical and vocational education is so important. You'll be surprised to know technical and vocational education is the largest consumer of natural resources and one of the largest polluter also. And that's why it is very, very important that we advocate understanding about greening TVET, entire TVET institution, because these are the outputs, these are the graduates who will be entering into the world of work, and if they know that what are the good practices they should follow, probably we can address the issues to some larger extent and all that. In order to do so, we have also followed the same thing. There are 5 dimensions we have adopted, like green campus, green technology. First thing what we did is green policy. So as an institution, this is the mission what we have proposed for green policy, that passive and vision that TVET institution should vigorously explore and develop the practical knowledge and green skills and technology. Now how we achieve and how we started our journey, a small case study, I will take it in the next few slides. The first thing is the entire journey has been, it's still going on, it's not yet achieved the final result. What we have done is, in the first phase, all the employees of this institution have been acquainted through the information, the quiz even, how much he or she is aware about the environment around them. The awareness program was conducted so that they understand what are the practices, what are the good policy interventions can be done, and that was done. In the second important phase, we started with getting involved. We wanted everybody on the board. It doesn't matter at what level he or she is working, but everybody should become a partner into our journey on greening initiative. So the second focus was on getting involvement, and that has actually resulted into policy development. So this green policy has been developed by taking the input from every employee of this institution. The third one was infusing green. This is very interesting and this is very important. How we can infuse green in various areas of work, that we will see with the photographs also. And the last one is transforming lives. That's how the entire design has been done of the greening initiative. So green policy, green skills, course design, capacity building program, and communities of practice has been there. Let me show you with some photograph to make evidence that what we are doing, what we are preaching, what we are practicing also. So let me begin with the greening campus. I think you are here already for almost 2 days. Am I right? Have you seen plastic anywhere? Yes, no? Thank you for your support also. Thank you for your support. So we are very strong advocacy that even in every place you will go there, you will find no plastic. Second important thing, what we have tried to do is that I think we already have a special place now for Friendship Garden, but we already started greening this campus. You have taken the tour around our campus, and we are so blessed that you are having enjoying the green campus around this one. So this is continue, it is not end, and we are continuing this one. Second important thing is water harvesting. So we have already initiated a project. All the water, every single drop we would like to utilize in this campus for the beautification of this garden. Second important thing is solar energy, using the green technology. When you will visit next month, you will find the entire electricity is coming from solar energy. 100 kilowatt will be supplied from solar. So what we preach, we try to practice, and we also would like to inspire others. It is not only we take the credit, but we also want to set an example. All those visiting us, they also can do in a little way our contribution for sustainable development. So third one is green community. As you can see here, all our employees are engaging with the local community nearby our institution. So our employees, our staff, our faculty, consultants are going, advocating the local community, even how to use the plastic, how to dispose all this, why you should not do this. Simple house practices we are advocating so that they can also bring, even carrying their own bag while they are going for the shopping. Even as simple as that, educating the local community has been our part and parcel of our initiative. Now coming back to the vocational education, which is very, very important. As I mentioned you in the opening spell that we have introduced employability skill. And as a part of advocacy on greening, we have introduced green skills as a part of integral component of this vocational education annual. So 17 sectors, all the curriculum has been embedded with green skill. So I think this is a wonderful step I feel this institution has taken for promoting advocacy for sustainable development. You can imagine 10 lakh students are going to be aware about green skills, will be benefited, and they will be conscious about their actions, what they are taking, so that they will be aware of how these are going to impact for the sustainable development. Just to illustrate with some images, you can see these are all the learning outcome-based curriculum which all highlight the different facets of green skills. So for class 9, then class 10, you can see here in the interest of the time. These are all available on our website. Please do visit our website and you can see more details about greening. We have a module only on employability skill which gives entire theory, practice, everything is there. Learning activities are there. Everything has been embedded into the learning curriculum. And so this is like 11th and 12th and all that. Now we have also started with greening initiative by creating capacity building. So you can see a photograph where we launched this year the first capacity building program as a master trainer for all the states in the region. And these are some of the visuals. We started with this. So this has already been taken in this thing. having all done this one, when we conducted the capacity building program, we realized that sustainable development cannot be achieved through PowerPoint. It cannot be done through classroom teaching, and we need a fresh approach to our teaching learning. So what we strongly advocate from our experience is that we have to reduce the lecture. We have to reduce the classwork, memorization, textbook approach and abstract. Rather than our focus has to be more on discussion, more on debate, more on experimentation. That is what we do. More critical thinking, field work. These are very, very vital, important component if you really want to bring change into the teaching learning. In fact, it should reach out to the project. The student should investigate. As simple as that. Why don't we see butterflies in this campus? Why there are no so much butterflies, in spite everything is there? And the student should explore why it is so happening. Like this small problem can be given to the young students and let them investigate and understand our actions are how impacting to the environment and all that one. Last but not the least, the green culture. You can see here our campus, all the employees, and you can see the garbage we have collected. This is all because of the participation of our employees, faculty, colleagues, everybody. As a team, we are working on this one. So we started with this one. We know the journey is not yet completed. We are still marching on greening initiative under the able guidance of Dr. Shamal Muzumdar. We'll further take it up to the next level. But there are few experiences we would like to feel and propose here. The one important thing is, because we have a diversity in the region, diversity in the institutions also, we propose, we are working already on it, can we have a green index where educational institution on certain parameter using the same framework can come up with and understand how green they are. Not in terms of number of trees, but as a whole integrated concept of greening. So we have already developed a draft instrument, and we'll be happy if it gets validated by UNESCO, UNEVOC, or under the guidance of Dr. Shamal, so that larger education institution can be advocated, which is the area where they really need to improve, so that they really can be a green institutions and all that. Our next approach, we have done some effort. We feel that we'll focus more on energy conservation. That will be our next focus for greening initiative. How to reduce even waste. Though you don't see waste, but still we feel, we know where the gaps are there. So we would like to commit ourselves for reduction in the waste. Even water is very, very important. I am told the next war, if it is going to happen in India, it will be war for water. So we would like to champion for this cause, for the advocacy of water conservations. So with this, let me conclude with a beautiful quote of Mahatma Gandhi, which is very inspiring when we talk about sustainability, is that the world has enough. The world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. Thank you everyone for your kind attention.